Welcome to Cosplayland, I'm Alice and today I'm gonna show you how I fixed my wig for my Sea Breeze Dandelion Jean cosplay. Yeah, whenever you buy a new wig it's gonna look like this, probably is not the best looking thing in the world, but don't worry because this is normal and it's actually not so difficult to fix it, so I'm just gonna show you what I did to make it look a little bit more presentable. You're just going to need some basic stuff like scissors, hair dryer and very strong hairspray. So let's get started! So let's look at the wig first. I got this one in AliExpress and it was already for this character, which is Jean wig. You can definitely buy a wig and start from zero, but honestly, wig styling is not my favorite part, so the more I can get done before I start, the better. Whenever you buy a new wig, it usually comes with very long bangs. This is absolutely normal and it's just so it will adjust to your face. Nobody has the same face. I don't have a particularly long forehead, so perhaps more often than not I have to adjust my wigs. And in general, you're gonna just have to style it a little bit, maybe trim the ends and just make sure that this wig is back to its normal shape, because after all, it's been on a bag for a long time before it got to your house and it's not gonna retain much of the original styling of the wig anyway. I start by placing my wig on a wig stand and I brush the hair to make sure everything is going to the right direction. At this point, I start parting my wig where I think it's gonna be more accurate, and I always have a reference picture by my side so I can just correct any mistakes. I'm just going to use the pointy end of my brush to select the strands that I want to style first. As you saw in the intro, my bangs were actually too long, so I'm just going to make them a bit shorter. Just make sure that you place your scissors pointing upwards or downwards at an angle and never cut straight, because it's not going to look realistic. You just want to take a little bit of hair at a time and not overdoing it. Also, keep in mind that styrofoam heads are usually not very accurate, so you may want to measure first how long you want your bangs and just make a little mark on your mannequin head or the forehead to see how far you need to place your wig in order to make it look like your face. You may notice on my mannequin that I have drawn the eyebrows very faintly with some makeup, and also I have marked the point in which my forehead starts, so I know the nose is gonna be approximately as far as in my own face. Don't forget to pin your wig to the foam, because the wig is going to move and this could ruin your final style. Of course I did forget it, but I fixed it. Once your bangs are a bit shorter, you may want to trim those ends a little bit more just to make sure that they go straight and there is no loose ends going everywhere. There's nothing more annoying than having a hair in the middle of your nose and not being able to move because you're just waiting for that photo to be taken. So take your time, just slowly, and if you need to try the wig several times, just do it to make sure it looks right. Swap techniques as many times as you need to make sure those bangs have the shape that you want. Remember, in this case in particular, we want the ends to look a little bit pointy, so we want it to be a little bit thinner at the bottom, but do not overdo it because you can't grow back hair on a wig. Once you are confident you will be able to see through those bangs, you want to apply some heat just to make your bangs a little bit more curved so you can see the blunt edge of the cuts that you just made. If you have a round hairbrush, it's time to use it now. What's happening is that because there is some metal on it, I'm heating the metal on the hairbrush and that's helping my wig to get styled correctly and hiding all those edges and making them look more even. Wait a few seconds before you let go and let it cool. A steamer is a very good alternative to your hair dryer because it will still use heat and set your hair in place, but it won't make your hair messy as you do so, so if you can afford one, it's actually quite cheap and it will speed up the process a little bit. Here I'm just shaping the wig a little bit more to make sure those bangs stay together before I apply some hairspray. I wanted to keep the curls of this wig, but unfortunately one of them had become undone. So what I did was I just put the hair around my hand roughly in a round shape, applied some heat making sure I didn't burn myself. I can't guarantee that happened, and once it was a little bit hot, I just had to apply a little bit of hairspray and let it cool before I let go. If you look at the reference picture, it looks like the hair is tucked behind another strand of hair, so I just used the hairpin and extended my hair a little bit to make it look like it was behind her ears. Then I just had to hide that hairpin and just make sure it was secure with some more hairspray before I wore it. Jean also has some side bangs, so I just grabbed a little bit of hair and just framed her face a little bit, and again I will be using some heat and hairspray to make sure those stay in place. I want to do the spiky sides now, and I found they were a little bit long, so I just trimmed it the same way I trimmed the bangs. I could have definitely made them shorter and more striking, but I decided to go for a more subtle look. I tried first using some heat and the rollers to make them curvy, but this didn't work so well because the points were just going everywhere every time I let go, so I just changed my strategy. I made little pigtails whenever I wanted a spike, and then I used again some heat and some hairspray to make it look like I wanted. Again, these were a little bit longer, so I'm gonna be just cutting those shorter with my scissors using the same movement. I applied heat with my steam gun, and then I just had to just wait for it to get cold and apply some hairspray. I used the same method for the other spikes, and I left those hairbands on place until the last minute to make sure my style wouldn't get undone while I was moving the wig and doing something else. Instead of keeping them tidy, I just wanted them to look a little bit more realistic, so I opened them up a little bit with my fingers and I cut little hairs here and there to make them look a little bit more messy. Finally, I didn't want to make a ponytail wig that is glued together and I can't style anymore, because if it gets wrong, it really gets wrong and it's very difficult to get it back to its shape. So I just faked it making a couple of ponytails, because it's very difficult to make just one ponytail to a wig. So I just made it into two parts to make sure there wouldn't be a lot of hair showing underneath my ponytail, and then I can hide all these behind the actual hair from the ponytail. Now I just needed to clip the ponytail back and add the ribbon, and my wig was done. I'm still pretty new at wig styling, but I know that with a little bit of practice we can get better together. I hope you enjoyed the video, and this should be the last video for my Sea Breeze Dandelion Jean cosplay. Remember, you can see the full tutorials already on my YouTube, and there's a bunch of extra stuff on my Patreon if you want to check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I will be starting a new project next week and I would like you to join me in the journey. So just let me know in the comment what you would like me to do next and if you liked it, and see you next time!